Our community, your voice is presented by your local Honda dealers.
We talked about the journey in battling breast cancer and how there is a future. And we are now joined with Lorena Leto, who is a survivor, 15 years in the rearview mirror. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you for
I want to start off by saying that, it was important for us to focus on this topic as a segment for this month's show. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is a very personal topic for me. My mother is a survivor who beat breast cancer in 2012. My grandmother, who is deceased for about 15 years, she beat breast cancer in the 1950s and lived to be about 91. And so that's why I was so happy to hear that you were going to be able to sit down with us. I want to start off by asking the question, why are we talking to you? And the answer is simple: to see and hear from someone who can say they put it behind them. And so the value of early detection, the value of advocacy, can you tell us how important that was in your own journey?
First of all, thank you for having me, Jay. I'm grateful for your story about your mother and your grandmother. It's personal to me too. My mother is a 2-time breast cancer survivor. That's part of the reason I think that I was such a huge advocate for my own self-help. When I first moved to New York City in 1998, I knew that it was very important that I have a doctor who could be an advocate for me and take my health very seriously. And I was blessed to find someone who did just that. I met a doctor by the name of Michael Broadman, who was my champion for many years. And after doing a very in-depth personal family history of health, he realized that we should really take my healthcare seriously. And I started, this was at the very beginning, the late 90s, before the BRCA mutation was something that people were really, it was discovered, but it wasn't widely being tested for. And so he treated me as if I was positive without even knowing if I was positive.
And that advocacy, did you find that you had to speak up and say, this is what I want done?
Eventually, not with him per se, but once I was diagnosed later on, I absolutely had to become my own advocate. And I've had to be my own advocate. Even, several years later, I still am an advocate for my health.
How important is that?
It's incredibly important. There's a lot of miscommunication out there, sometimes from the healthcare community. It's a lot of information coming at you at a very quick pace once you're diagnosed. You don't understand it necessarily. All these different terms about what stage you are, if it's ER positive, PR positive, all these different things that your surgeon, your oncologist, your pathologist are telling you, and it's a lot to process. Once you've had a chance to process, it's important to ask a lot of questions, to take a step back and understand, is this the best path for myself and for my family?
For other women who are out there and they are either worried about this or in the midst of that battle, how important is it to have someone in that room with you as an additional ear?
It's incredibly critical to have someone there. There's, I did have my husband there, I had my best friend there, sometimes I had my mother there. You think you can hear everything at the time that the physician is telling you, but in all reality, as much as you're listening, your head is still spinning, right? It's a lot of information to take in. I recommend that people take notes. I recommend that they have a caretaker take notes. But we also have to be realistic and realize that there's some people that don't have caretakers. They don't have someone there in that room with them. And it's important to not make any quick decisions in those appointments, to stop and think about what just took place, and to not make any commitments right there then when you're diagnosed.
Lorena Leto, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. We really appreciate it. And we hope it's helpful for others out there that are battling breast cancer. By now, you know how much we value your input on this topic and others. You keep flooding our inbox with story ideas and suggestions. Keep them coming. Email us at communitycloseup@pix11.com. And if you ever miss us on the air, you can find all of our stories on pix11.com, on the web, on the Pix11 mobile app, and on your smart TV. Download the Pix11 Plus app. I'm your host, Jay Dow. See you next time on Pix11 Community Close-Up.